Hello, my name is Jasmine Jones, and I will be presenting my reflection for CIT 448 Global and Strategic Issues in Information Technology. In this presentation, I will recall what I have learned in this course and provide feedback on the material and their resources. I hope you enjoy, and please feel free to contact me with any questions. In this presentation, I will cover several topics that will reflect my time in the course. These topics include my IES results, any course surprises, lessons on my culture and other culture, my opinion on global learning and intercultural competency, and the feedback on resources used in the course. In the beginning of this course, we were required to take a survey that would evaluate competencies critical for effective interaction with people who are different from one another. This slide shows my pre- and post-semester results. As you can see, my results are majority the same, give or take a few areas, meaning I did not change much compared to my pre-survey and my post-survey. My results were surprising to me because I didn't know what to expect coming out of the survey. When taking the survey, I attempted to answer the questions to the best of my ability to receive the most accurate results. My pre-results displayed that I was not as open-minded as I thought when it came to interacting with other cultures. It showed that I tend to favor things that I find most familiar, such as foods, clothing, and people. This was surprising because I always thought that I was an open-minded person and I was the person who was inclusive to others and interested in other cultures. The next slide will go over a couple other things that surprised me in this course. All right, now we are on course surprises. So the first surprise that surprised me in this course was the fact that in Module 3, we were given several assignments that were supposed to depict how Americans viewed us. So we watched videos and read articles. From those materials, I seen that Americans were viewed in a negative light to foreigners. One of the videos that we saw even gave us a nickname, Ugly Americans, meaning that Americans, when we travel to foreign countries, were loud, obnoxious, space hogs, things like that. And that surprised me only because it's one thing to be in America and think these things about Americans because that's what you're around and that's what you see. But it's another thing to know that other people think that as well, and they have these stereotypes about us when we come to their country. The second thing that surprised me was in Module 6 when we focused on visas and intellectual properties. So visas surprised me because there is a common misunderstanding that foreigners are taking jobs away from Americans. But what I found in Module 6 is that it's not so much that a foreigner is taking a job away from Americans, it's that companies are outsourcing to foreigners to have jobs that Americans may be capable of doing as well. And this could be from my research in Module 6, the fact that they can pay them less, the fact that they're temporary, and the fact that they are not equipped with the citizenship and the same rights that an American would be. So a lot of companies will outsource to foreign entities, foreign college students to come work for them opposed to an American. And this is not much of them taking jobs away. This would just be companies finding loopholes in a system that is already broken. And then in the previous slide, I mentioned my IES results and how those surprised me. And we did that in module 11, the post, but in module 2, we did the actual pre-results. For this slide, I would like to reference a discussion that we had for module 3, and it was basically after we saw a couple videos about how foreigners viewed Americans. We saw the Ugly American video, and we also saw a video with what looked like some college students in a foreign country and how they would pick out if someone was American or not. And this was actually my discussion post that I had written, and I was just saying how I understand why the foreigners would feel that way, but I also want to point out in my discussion that I also said that space hogs, being informal, being loud, those can be put on any type of culture if you're not familiar with it. So of course, if you're not familiar with the American culture and what we do here and how we present ourselves within our society, then you're going to feel differently because you didn't grow up that way. So I totally understand why they feel that way. And it could also be because Americans do not have the luxury to travel all the time. Later in this slide, actually, I will go over my travel experiences and things like that. But myself as an American, I do not have the time to travel. So like a lot of other Americans, when they travel, they are not educated on how to act, how to present themselves, how to dress in these environments, in these new environments. Now I would like to talk about culture. So as of traveling so far, I have only traveled within a few states, and I have stayed in those destinations for maybe a weekend or a few days. And these have been for vacation purposes, maybe visiting family, but I've never been out of the country or never had the opportunity to go out of the country. I do not own a passport or anything equivalent. Traveling in the future, I would personally like to travel. I think everyone wants to travel and get out of a familiar space to adventure and find themselves. And I believe that this is better done when you're young. But I'm also very eerie of the barriers that are keeping me from traveling. Some of the barriers are going to be language. The only language I speak is English. I am not familiar with any other languages, so that would be a big barrier for me when traveling. I wouldn't want to be somewhere where I have no way of communicating with individuals, especially in like an emergency. And then another barrier would be stereotypes. As a Black woman, I'm pretty sure that each region in the world has different stereotypes about Black people, and I would rather not visit a area that have negative stereotypes or unequal treatment or discrimination or anything like that. So those will be my biggest barriers of traveling and why I myself do not travel, and money, of course. I do not have the luxury of a high income right now to travel out of the country. On this slide, we will discuss my attitudes towards intercultural competency and global learning. According to Florida International University, global learning is a process of diverse people collaboratively analyzing and addressing complex problems that transcend borders. And intercultural competency is the ability to understand and respect each other across all types of cultural borders. So I think these two go hand in hand. It sounds like you can't have one without the other. You can't work with someone without respecting them, and that makes complete and total sense. With my future, hopefully being in IT, I would assume that I'm going to be working with all walks of life. Hopefully I have the opportunities to go out of the country and work with foreign individuals, and we will have different opinions on certain things, but IT is global. IT is everywhere. IT is collaborative. You're going to work with people who are different than you, and it's nice to understand that, understand the value in that, and understand the importance of respecting each other, no matter the cultural barriers. And last but not least, I would just say innovation. IT is innovation, new ideas, transcending from different perspectives of life. So that starts with the ability to understand and respect each other across all types of cultural barriers. It's driven by diversity. In this course, we used an online cultural inventory called GlobeSmart. We were required to take a survey at the beginning to build our profile. Once we built our profile, we were then asked to compare our profiles to our teammates so we can get a better idea of how our team would work during our projects, during our time in our course. So the country profiles were very helpful in GlobeSmart. A lot of activities that we were required to do in this course required those country profiles to fully understand how the culture of that country would be approached given a foreigner visit the country, especially in a business aspect. The survey at the beginning kind of catered how our team culture was going to be. We were able to look at each other's results and see, like, hey, you're more dependent, you're more task oriented, you are more of like a certainty, and you are maybe not more of a person who take a risk. So that was very helpful, especially when building a team and you're going to be with these individuals the entire course. And last but not least, I think it was very easy to use. Everything was in one spot or led to the next. It was never a time where I didn't know how to do something on GlobeSmart. So it was very user friendly. Well, that was my reflection on CIT 448. Thank you for watching, and please let me know if you have any questions.